What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute that I picked up the camera, about a week or so now, and I believe the last video you guys saw was when we put some work into the van. The workhorse is back up and running, and we've done a lot to it to get it to run cherry again, and it is ready for more junkyard adventures. So I took kind of like a week break because I've been grinding a lot these past week just to have videos to upload per schedule and give me all of those days to work on the van and take however long I need to do the cylinder heads on it. It was a lot more simple than I thought, so I knocked the car out in 2 days with taking time, machine shop and all, and that gave me the rest of the I guess week up until this point to take a break. But we are back, and the HF CRX La Ponda is back on the driveway. The goal is to finally get this car cut and polished out. And what time is it right now? It is 1:48, and I've actually been at this like all morning, and we got the passenger side and the hood and the roof all sanded out with 800 to 1,000 grit, 800 for the runs, 1,000 to start my my starting cutting sandpaper. So we had a lot of runs that were on the fender. I've shown you guys before. We had a lot of runs that were right here under the mirror, but if you look, nice and flat out. And I hit this with 1,000, all this with 1,000, quarter with 1,000, trunk with 1,000, roof and hood with 1,000. Now I want to quickly say that I'm not trying to shoot for like a mirror finish. I'm not shooting for a very flat finish. I'm just trying to cut out all of the dirt impurities to get those nice and smooth out of the clear coat. And there is going to be a little bit of orange peel, but with white you're really not going to tell if you do a good polish job. So today the goal is to sand this whole entire car down and finish it with 2,000 grit and polish it out. That's the goal. So I got the whole driver's side to do, pillar, door, fender, and the reason why I left this to show with you guys is because I want to show you guys how I go about cutting the clear coat in the way that I know how. I'm using all that I have, and really just trying to get it to be nice and smooth. I don't know if you guys can see it. All that run right here. Let's cut it out. So I got some water with some soap in it, not a lot of soap, but soap is just to kind of help clean this as we're sanding. So there's a ton of run from right here. It's like a bunch of squiggly line all the way to about here. That is quite the amount. Holy crap. So I talked to my buddy Tony. Tony is a painter and he cuts and polishes cars for a living. That's what he does. And he's crazy. He goes down with like 400 grit to cut out a lot of these runs, and it really takes a lot of practice to use 400 grit to cut down clear coat runs. But I'm not going to go super crazy with the grit. I'm just going to use 800 right here, 800, and I'm just going to work the run part and not the surrounding areas, because I don't want to sand this while I'm doing the run, because then I'm taking off color code in areas that don't need to be taken out as much as the run does, if that makes any sense. So pretty simple. Use a block. It helps keep everything nice and flat. I'm gonna go ahead and just spray this down just slightly, because I feel like without water it cuts faster, but you got to be careful because it could cut out too much. So having it wet kind of helps it, not cut as fast, I guess, but if you don't want to cut as fast, you can use higher grit, right? So I'm just going to work the area that has the runs first before I work the entire fender. So again, guys, I'm doing this the way that I know works for me. I don't know if sanding clear coat is the same as when you're sanding a car for paint preparation, where you do like X pattern or crisscross. I'm literally just doing it the same way because I feel like cutting the lines in different direction cuts it faster than to keep tracing the same cut line. So you don't want to spend too much time to sand this without checking, you know what I mean, because you might burn too far down before you know it. So I'm gonna wipe it down. Yeah, this is like mostly gone already, but I can still see all of this. So wet sand, wipe, rinse and repeat until it's nice and flat. We'll move up to the next grit. Flat. And I think on this fender it's just that run right there. I think everywhere else looks pretty good. This is 1,000 grit from Harbor Freight. called Hercules. I couldn't find 1,000 at the auto parts store, and at the paint shop is too expensive. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hook up my air and hit this with 1,000. Goodness, this damn wind. My fucking eyes, boy. Yeah, it's been very windy these last couple of days. It's crazy. Can you guys see that right there? All that run. There's a little bit right here as well. It's pretty flat, you can't see it, but it is gone. That didn't take much effort at all. Now let's do the same for the rest of the runs over there. Y'all see that little drip right there? That little drip right there? Let's cut it out. Bitch, be gone. So what's interesting to me is that I had a gang of runs that were here. And now that I'm looking at this again, it kind of settled down pretty good. If you look, it's a little bit wavy on the lip because all the clear coat must have just kind of run down and sat here. But I remember the run being here a lot. This is flat. This has a little bit of ripple, and I'm sure a flat block will clean all of this up. So I looked at the rest of the quarter panel, and like I said, I thought there was a lot more runs, and I am quite frankly wrong. There is not that many run. I mean, there was one here, but I sanded that yesterday. I don't know if you can see how flat that is, all flat right there. But so it looks like all I got to do is sand here, and there was a lot under the gas cap as well. Like there was a ton of drips here, but I guess the tape method took off a lot of those excess clear, and once it settled down, it's almost pretty flat. Got a run right there, right here, right there, and a little bit on the cap itself. So yeah, I'm just gonna knock this out really quickly, guys, and then I'm gonna chase the whole entire car with 1,000 grit, and then I'm gonna chase it again with 2,000 grit. Man, I feel like I'm gonna polish this tomorrow. I did not finish sanding the entire car yesterday with 2,000 grit. I did finish it with 1,500, and one of my buddies came by because he was in town, so we kind of hung out the rest of the night. Now, because of how windy it was yesterday and me working with the water into the night, it probably wasn't the best choice to do so. Guys, we are done with the 2K sand job on La Ponda, and we have a ton of sandpaper here. We got some 500s on the bottom, we got some 800s, we got 1,000, we did 15, and then we did 2K right here by hand. Now the car, it's ready to be polished. I got most of my stuff out right here on the table. We got a Makita polisher. I've had this for quite some time. This belonged to my uncle, which used to own the van over there as well. We have a slightly used 3M pad, and when I say slightly used, is because I used this pad on the giveaway car. I sanded the whole passenger side, and then I polished the passenger side, realizing that the car isn't going to go anytime soon, so I don't want to polish it, and then it gets messed up sitting there, and then having to polish it again. So I stopped polishing and didn't really get to the rest of the car. So it was slightly used. I just kind of tossed it in my detailing cabinet, and it looks pretty beat up. But I took the screwdriver and ran the buffer to get all of the dried up compound off of it, sprayed some water to dampen it. I am going to be using the 3M rubbing compound number 1 36060. This is the white compound with the white pad, and you guys are probably gonna kill me for reusing this pad, but I really thought I had more pads in this package to polish the car out, but only thing I have left is black, cotton, and green, and these aren't the colors you use for cutting, so I have to use that pad. So it is what it is. So I'm going to be doing this driver side fender right here with you guys real time and show you guys how I go about polishing this out. I'm probably going to do like 2 passes or until I get the shine that I want out of it, and then we'll move into the rest of the car on the time lapse. I'm just going to put a couple of dots on here. The surface is not that big. I am going to smear it in here because the rest of the pad is like, you know, it's damped, but it's still somewhat on the dry side. So I'm kind of getting all of the foam itself dampened with the compound. Apply a couple more dots to spread on the surface before we go at it. But I'm gonna have the buffer on low speed, and we're gonna work the compound in on low speed, and then we'll turn it up. I have to cut right here a little bit more, still a little hazy, and I got to use my drill for this corner section right here because I don't want to put a big polishing pad right here where there's curves, because I could burn one spot more than the other, as well as this corner up here. So I am going to do one more pass. I think that's what I'm going to do, 2 passes on every panel and really just work it in. But I can tell you that this whole section right here, super glossy. Yes sir. Sheesh. God damn, boy. I don't even put this much effort into my own damn cars. What the hell? Hell yeah, let's do the rest of the car. It was just bright out a minute ago, and while I was polishing out the quarter panel, we seem to have lost the daylight. It's not even late, guys. It's like 6 o'clock, and we're just losing daylight a lot earlier, and that's what kind of sucks with working like out here in front of the garage. The car is not all the way forward, so the light is over there. Over here is all dark, but it's crazy to say that white under the light just looks like plain white. Like, I didn't even do a polish job on this unless I turn off the lights and really get that reflection going, right? But we pretty much did fender, hood, fender, door, pillar, quarter, and I'm literally just about to work my way around back and then the roof. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock this out, guys, because obviously it's hard to show you guys me really just working in the dark. If the car is backward, I record it for you guys, but you already know the process. I'm just going to go ahead and knock it out and really just try to get this done, because yesterday was pretty damn cold. I think it might be just as cold tonight. Let's finish this up. All right, guys, so we are on day 3 of polishing La Ponda. Never intended to be a 3-day ordeal, but sanding takes a while. Polishing in multiple stages take a while, and last night I believe I left you guys on the quarter panel, and I kind of went the rest of the night polishing the whole entire driver's side blindly. The car is finished with the stage 1 compound from 3M, and it is looking really good. Now, I must say, I made a couple of mistakes when I was sanding this car down. I went a little extra crazy with the DA right here. I kind of burned through the paint a little bit. I'm pretty upset about that. And the other spot that I burnt paint was the repaired quarter panel right there. I burnt that when I was sanding it because this right here had a ton of run on there, and I was trying really hard to get it nice and flat. It is nice and flat, but I took off some paint right there. Another spot I took off paint was right here. This was actually from the buffer. I went a little too aggressive in this little corner, which I should have used my drill on, but this right here is hidden under the molding that sits right here for the door, so I'm not too worried about it. But there are a few spots of the panel that needs a little bit deeper cutting, like right here. I need to cut this a little bit more to get it more clear, like the quarter panel. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a little blurred compared to the quarter, and I got to do this whole section because I completely missed it. I did this whole section right here in the dark because the car is not all the way up, obviously, so I couldn't see where I was polishing. I should have just waited till today, but I really was so eager to get it done last night. So today I was going to be focusing on the stage 2 and the wax part of it. But I'm not going to show you guys the rest of the polish job. It's exactly the same. I just been doing a lot of running around this morning, going to the store and, you know, going to Home Depot, Best Buy, all that stuff. My PC crashed, and a lot of you guys are actually hitting me up in the DMs on Instagram to try to help me figure out what's going on with my computer. Last night it gave me a blue screen, and when I reset it, it kept going to the blue screen, and then eventually it allowed me to get to desktop. I would log in, and then it'll just give me the blue screen error, and every time it would go to the blue screen error, it was a different error. So took my computer out of my room. I blew air compressor through here lightly to get all of the dust out of here. And I remember a couple of months ago, this thing got loose, this heat sink, and I took it apart to readjust it, but I didn't use new thermal paste. So I came back with some new paste, redid all that, and reassembled everything here. I want to spend the rest of my day quickly going through the final polishing job on La Ponda, but most importantly, I want to spend the rest of my night trying to get my computer up and going again, because I need to edit to get videos out, especially because I got a schedule for tomorrow. So don't want to miss my schedule upload, and I want to focus on my PC. I'm pretty stoked to see La Ponda shining again, guys, and I want to give you guys a quick little walk around before we end this video. I'm going to start off right here with the passenger fender, and guys, this thing is looking crispy. Mind you guys, I still got to do stage 2 and wax, but just the stage 1 itself is looking so good, so freaking good. Yes sir, this thing is more shinier than any of my cars here, except the wagon, but that thing has been sun baking for a couple of years and it needs a little refreshing. But dang guys, look at this. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Check this out. Not shabby. The roof, glossy, baby. Yes sir. Yes sir. Yes sir. So that means I am going to wrap up the video right here, guys. Hopefully in the next video I am going to start assembling La Ponda's trims and taillights and mirrors and all that good jazz. I got to find all the clips, I got to find all the pieces to get it ready to put back onto the car. Hopefully that goes down tomorrow. Not entirely sure, but it will be the next video for you guys. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. If you enjoy La Ponda shining again, be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see this car in its final form before I put it up for sale, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Damn, lost it.